¿Qué es la que hay? Welcome to Tony West DIY. My name is West and I'm excited because I just received this. Check the size of this thing. Holy cow. This is massive. To be honest, it's it's a scratch here, huh? A scratch here as well. Anyway, I'll be honest with y'all, it's the first time that I hold a 6-piston caliper in my hand, and this thing is massive. First thing that we need to do is figure out if it's gonna have enough clearance to still use the factory wheels, because I'm not expecting changing wheels just to have bigger calipers. Kind of disappointed, to be honest, that this is already scratched. You're gonna get scratched anyway, but damn it.
2 weeks later.
Shit. Damn. Take a look at this. Oh my god, this is so massive. That's what she said.
That's my joke, damn it.
I mean, it looks good though. Something that I wanted to point out, make sure that this, I forgot how this thing is called, points up. I didn't pay attention to that, and I was starting the wrong one. But the 2 bolts on the rear, they're 15 millimeters. Yeah, let's see if I have enough clearance. I don't know, man. This is huge. I really don't want to put spacers, but let's see. Wish me luck. And like I expected, it's not gonna fit. So the distance is not that much. I'll say it's like a 1/4 inch. Looking at the stud, I think it will still have enough thread for the knot to bite in. So I think I don't need to do extended locks. So yeah, let me order spacers and then I start shooting again. Alright, so a couple things that I want to explain. I went to AutoZone to pick up one of these spacers. Calm down, I'm not gonna use them. I was just trying to see or to check measurements. So these are 5/16, and this is how the wheel look. You can see there's still like 5 millimeter space. So, and it's still with 5/16, there's still enough thread to not use the extended locks. I was trying to find hub centric spacers because if you can tell here, the bore diameter is huge. Basically, if you utilize one of these spacers, the weight is gonna be over the lug nuts. It's not gonna be distributed on the hub. That can cause a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and these shitty ass spacers, I don't recommend them. So the center hub diameter for Mustangs thing is 70.3 millimeters. All I can find was 70.5, which I'm assuming that is good for it. And based on 5/16, and it still give me a pretty good space. So what I'm gonna order, I found 5mm up centric. I'm gonna remove everything again because I have to utilize the car this week. So I'm gonna put everything back to stock until I get those spacers, and then I try again, check the clearance, and if everything goes as planned, this car is gonna have Brembos.
2 weeks later.
And I got the spacers. I got these ones. I ordered them from Amazon. It was really hard to try to find the correct measurement. I always put my Amazon store on the description so you can find anything that I utilize here. So these ones, you can see these one are hub centric, comparing versus the other ones that I purchased were, like I showed you earlier, they're not hub centric, so they're just gonna be resting on the studs. They will prevent more vibration on the front end. So the hub diameter on these were really exact, so I had to clean a little bit of rust on the hub and remove a little bit of material. Let's install the wheel and then see how it goes. There you go. Now we're talking about. So there's enough room to not hit the caliper, but everything looks on point, and it had enough thread for the nuts. So I'm gonna remove everything again and installing the brake pads and all the clips, and then I'm gonna change the brake lines as well. Going to be utilizing these brake lines. I'm just following everything that was on the forums. I also put the link in the description. So I'm gonna be using that one, and these are the brake pads that I'm gonna be using. So this is how it's gonna look. I marked the line, still not tight, but this bracket, I try to see how the hell this goes. I think this is the rear one. This is the one that closes or matches this area. However, if you see, it's far from that bracket. The thing that I think it goes is using this bracket to hold it, either here, I'm not sure, or here. But this is smaller, so this will fit holding the line here in the bottom. You see it's like, I don't know, inch, 2 inches down from here. And then if I try to kind of like force it from here to try to line it from the bracket, I will have to either bend that line or I don't know. I had all of these, but they're too big. I think those were for the 8-8 AN lines. So I'm gonna see if I can find -4 or -6 and then try to force it to there. So also the spring, I tried to make it while I was recording, but I didn't realize that I was installing this wrong. So this spring, I think it goes above, but you can replace brake pads without removing the whole caliper. So I'm just gonna push these pins out and then flip this spring and put it back. Stuff that I want to stress is adding grease, the grease that the brake pads come with, on areas that brake pads have friction. I put a little bit on the pins, on the actual caliper where it almost touches the brake pads, and then where the pistons touches the brake pads, because I don't want all of that to seize. But it's looking good. Let me see how I figure out that part, but other than that, everything is going perfect. All right, so spring is, I think, how it's supposed to, and this is how it's supposed to look. I think you have to push the line a little bit further up. I still gonna try to get one of these, but a bigger one, I think -4 or -6, to be able to get both eyelets on that bolt. But once it's there, it's not moving. The only thing that I don't like too much is the harness is touching that line, so vibrations or stuff like that earlier. I don't know. It's not a sharp corner though, but I will prefer if it's a little bit further out. Yeah, so this is tight, and once I remove this from here, I'm gonna run this line over from here and then see how it goes, to see if I can still put zip tie. For the rear, you can see it's all rusted. I don't like how it looks. I am not going to change calipers. I think I'm just gonna sand those down and paint it. But I'm still gonna use 14 inches disc from the GT 500. The only thing that you do is you can get these brackets, and what this does is push the caliper outward, so you still can utilize the factory calipers, and you don't have to remove the axle and do all that crazy stuff to be able to fit GT 500 rear calipers. So with this, you still can benefit with bigger brake rotors without the hassle of doing all that and removing the differential cap and spill all that oil, which that fluid usually is stinky as hell. So let's just do the rear ones now, and then you just have to do the same thing on the other side. And this is how it's supposed to look. You can tell comparing with the other disc, the other one is massive and it looks clean. This is how the bracket goes, and what I like is that this one, comparing with the front one, have the whole bracket to hold the ABS sensor line, and I don't know, it looks cleaner than the front part. Now I'm just gonna remove everything, remove the caliper, sand it down, clean it, and then paint it because it looked all jacked up. This is how the bracket looks, and it's just push the caliper further out. It's technically just a bracket, but it mounts on the same position. And I thought that I was gonna have like an area that the brake pad wasn't touching, but it looks like it's just gonna touch fine. It's just a bigger disc, but the area is kind of like the same. In the front one, I wanted to show you what I did. I was able to find the ones that I had before. I remember for the RSX, I installed new fuel lines, and I remember that I had these. I wasn't able to find it. And you see, it looks nice. I was able to separate it from the harness like I wanted and separate it from the frame, so no vibrations. And then the OEM ABS sensor goes over, and you didn't even have to sit tight that thing. So it is really hot. Let me do the other side, and then I show you how I'm gonna bleed the brake lines, and after that everything should be completed. Hey, before I show you how I'm bleeding the system, now that I'm doing the other side, I feel easier because I already did the whole side, so I feel more confident now. I think it's easier if you just assemble everything, including the line. I'm not tying it yet because I just want to identify the perfect angle once it's mounted. But yeah, you assemble the whole caliper, and then put the disc, spacer, remove the caliper but leave the line connected. And then once you install the whole assembly, then it's easier if you just remove the line from the connector and then connect it straight here once you tight this banjo bolt here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you the easier version. This is the first time that I've done it, so yeah, let's keep going. All right, so I'm done installing all the disc and calipers and all that. So now is the tedious process of bleeding the whole system. I usually do the two-person method, that you pump the brake for 10 times or whatever, and release the nipple so air goes out, but it's usually only me. So I'm gonna try for the first time one of these pumps. Apparently it's easier. This is the first time that I usually utilize this pump. So this is a vacuum pump. So long story short, one of these will go to the brake caliper nipple. You attach the clear hose, then it goes to a reservoir, so the air goes inside and also fluid. One of these short lines goes to the pump. Before you open the nipple, you want to crank this so it will create a certain amount of vacuum, and then when you release or open the nipple, fluid and air should come back. The biggest things that you have to take in consideration is check your owner's manual to check which specific fluid you need. In my case is DOT3. Second thing, and I'd say the most important one, is make sure that the reservoir is always with fluid, because you don't want to remove air out of the calipers but then suck more air from the reservoir. So just pay attention to that. I'm gonna add a little bit where it says max, and then I'm gonna start the process. When you start the process, start from the furthest out from the master cylinder and then warp your way back forward. So in my case, it will be the passenger side rear and then the driver side rear. Then I'm gonna go and do the passenger front and then driver side front. But this type of calipers is kind of different because it has multiple nipples. So I check the internet. Some people say start in the inside, then move to the outside. Others say to start with the outside, because by the time you go back to the inside, there's gonna be only fluid and not bubbles. And then the last version was starting the inside, go outside, and then inside as well. So that's just redundant to make sure that you don't have a bubble in the system. Basically, that's the main goal. So I think I'm just gonna do that third version, and once I confirm that I don't have more bubbles in the system, I should be good. It is freaking hot. All right, so all calipers have been bleeded. This is the amount of fluid that I collected. I'm pretty sure this brake fluid hasn't been changed since 2006. I want to show you with 5mm spacers, it looks flush. So yeah, I was just concerned, thinking that I needed later on different spacers, because I always like the flush fitment on the wheels. I did the same with the Cadillac, but yeah, no, 5 millimeters. Just keep in mind these are 9 wide. So on the rear, I'm not gonna purchase any spacers because I'm hunting down the 10 inches wide wheels. It is really hard to find any saline parts anyway, but yeah, I think with 10 inches in the rear, it will look on point. So this is the room that you get from the Brembos. So not bad at all. Something that I want to put out, I used the vacuum pump, but I gave up. It's too slow, and I think my forearms are the right one is even bigger than it was before.
What did he say?
So I ended up using a combination of the pump, and I called my kid to press the brake pedal like analog or the old version. So please, now I'm gonna use the car, give it a ride, make sure everything is squared away. If this helped you and if you want to support the channel, the best way that you can do it for free is pressing the like button. I'll appreciate that tremendously. And if you like the RX-7 content and Mustang content, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so every time that I upload a video, you'll receive a notification.